What's happening? You guys are so terrible. I see in the comments. Look at that. Oh yeah, just look at that big deck.
Full
Missed
house.
It's deck season.
The new deck is bigger.
We like big decks.
Yeah, we like
can't
big
all night.
decks.
There was all these bird nests in the old deck. They would all now there's birds in the new deck too.
Bird food in the new deck.
Who was supposed to be manscaping the old deck?
Right? Well, you know what happens when you get birds in places. It brings in the pussycats.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Okay. All right. Hey, welcome to TLD Live Chat. It's very.
The dude says, "Be glad we got a backyard live feed and not a Walsh bathroom feed."
We could
That
make
is true.
We can make that happen.
Or anybody in feet that Cody has stashed
mission
from Discord.
What if we do that one of these days where the intro is just like feet on the beach and like waves crashing over the.
I'm gonna
hilarious.
So in June,
Cody would be excited.
I have the worst feet. So in June, I'm gonna take a beach trip. I will record it so then we can just have it as a new intro. So like Walsh is gone, be like, let's watch the water watch over.
If y'all can find my TLD OnlyFans, I will give y'all a discount on joining.
It's just
7. Hell popped in for a few. 076 Liberty off the rails, off the jump.
Yeah.
Like straight. I thought we were going to stay on the rails because Jason was here this time.
No.
Yeah.
No, dude, it's been a rough week, man.
Yeah.
I am glad I'm here to vent my frustrations with the world.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into when we get into the Second Amendment news hour, because news 15 minutes. Because Washington got hosed heavily this week.
Yeah, with your 40-minute injunction.
Yeah.
It's 40 minutes.
It was something like that. It was like right about an hour.
It's like the shortest injunction in Washington history, I think.
Michael Farley, rails? We don't need no rails.
This chat. Hey, I do want to say, I know this is the segment where we're BSing and we're not talking about the stuff we talked about this week yet, but I was super impressed with Jeff from Nocturn. From the Everyman's Arsenal. I was like just listening in, and sometimes I do catch it. Like I'll listen in. I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Podcasts just generally aren't my jam. I'm usually just busy doing something else. But I was just like, I was stopping what I was doing to listen in and be like, what got them started? Just hearing the interesting like history of it. They're just airsoft guys. They're not special forces and super hoity-toity guys. It just breaks a lot of the thought process of like, oh, you got to be these ultra elite guys. Like, nah, these are airsoft dudes. They're awesome.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Oh, that's why none of the normal civilian couch potato will ever buy their stuff, because they're not Navy SEAls.
Yeah.
So, you say they're not baby seals?
Yeah.
Same thing. Jeff did say, I had a great time talking to him, and he was like, dude, I want to come back on. Like, I talked a lot about night vision. I'd love to come on and talk more about like the company and not night vision in general. So you're probably going to see Jeff on again. Shadow Man with the super chat says, I'm finally off work and watch the live. No work tomorrow.
Heck yeah,
buddy. Obviously he's not married yet because he's still paying us.
Yeah, not married yet.
Yeah,
that's going to stop.
You made a good comment about how Jeff talked about just night vision the whole time, and you and I had commented about this too. Like, there's just so much to cover. Like, people just don't know so much. Like, where do you start? What do you do? What are the different pieces? So, I mean, even talking about a business, you have to understand. Like, at least we understand rifles and be like, okay, tell me about your company. But imagine if you didn't even understand rifles. Like, well, what's an AR-15? Like, that's where we're at in our night vision journey. Like, so,
and I talked to. It might have been after the recording when I talked to him like another 20 minutes after we finished recording, and I was like, dude, it's he's 3 hours ahead of me. I'm like, I gotta get you to bed. Get out of here.
He's like, I gotta do more of this. Yeah.
So I had an epiphany and figured out the best, like the hands down, the absolute best, no contest night vision there is on the market.
No, he said it. Jason even said it in the podcast. Like, Joe talks about how he has the best night vision that's ever existed.
Yeah, well, I figured out an even better one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The sun.
Just wait for it.
Oh,
Yeah, you just gotta wait for the sun.
I win.
Yeah. It's
Cody,
nighttime. You're just like, you see Joe out there in the firefight. Time out, guys.
Yeah,
Time out.
hold up.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Pause
bedtime. We come back in 12 hours.
Pause. We'll meet back in this spot at 7 a.m.
So, Cody, I did tell Steven, one of the guys at Nocturn, that, listen to the podcast. I was like, it's so funny that you guys all play airsoft. Me and Cody, the reason we have all this gear is because we wanted to play airsoft, and we amassed like the Lord's amount of tactical gear, and then never played. And he's like, "Oh, if you guys want to play, like, we'll get you out." I'm like, "Oh, I'm in. Like, I will. I have." I was like,
"Where are they at?"
Well, they said they play all over the country, so like they travel.
I think they're in New Hampshire is where they're based out of.
But they said they travel to
goodness.
They travel to like the big games in like Utah and Texas and stuff. And he's like, I was like,
I would like to do that.
Yeah, I was like, I have a fancy airsoft I've never even used. You have your fancy. You have a bunch of fancy stuff. Never.
I have a sniper rifle I've only shot once.
Mom won't let me play after dark.
That would be awesome. Yep. Like that's
so Jason. These two are talking. Okay, getting connections, getting friends and businesses, and then using all that to go and play airsoft. Right?
Yeah.
I have life goals.
You and I are gonna go like shoot hogs from a helicopter or something actually cool.
Yeah.
While they go play
I want to do that too. Don't be selfish.
No, too late. You're going to Utah for a big airsoft game.
We're going to shoot hogs from a helicopter. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, you upset about it? Like, nope.
Finally getting to try out all your belts.
Yeah. So I know my brain is not working as normal today. So this makes sense. This connection makes sense in my brain. But you said hog hunting, and I thought hog hunting, suppressor. The suppressor to your door that Griffin Armament is pushing out now. So I got an email from them. They're saying that the email was very surprising. It said the ATF is saying that this going from like 9 months normal wait time down to weeks or even days is going to be the new normal. Ooh. So yeah. Oh, hold on real quick. So they're not sponsoring this, but we do have a discount code with Griffin Armament, TLD CO.
Oh, well, I am working with them. Kind of what I wanted to know was what was the real process for that whole, and I'm going to be working this, you guys are going to see it soon. What is the process for the whole suppressor to your door? Like they say it's actually easy to do. Michael Farley's comment says, Cody having stuff he never used. What? No. Cody reached behind him and grabbed something that's still in his hand.
Cody name it literally something that he used 3 times in 3 years.
Yeah,
no, I changed it. You didn't even notice.
I didn't. I saw Kodiak a couple weeks ago, and I'm like,
what the heck? Anyway, Jason, I want to tell you, I'd been putting some updates with J Murph. We've been kind of talking with the Capital Armory process. Mm-hmm. That's taken like, okay, so I've done the e-forms before, and I did it through my FFL. And you kind of have like send some stuff in. You got to go visit them. You have to make an appointment. And it's a process. It's not super bad. The Capital Armory stuff was like, hey, you send everything in, and then they say, hey, we uploaded it. Hey, it's ready for you to sign. Hey, we uploaded it. It's ready for certification. You call in, and you just like wait for a phone. Like you wait kind of until it's your turn. And then they do like a remote share screen with you. You take over some of the controls. It takes like 20 minutes. So I went from, go ahead.
How'd you do fingerprints?
So when you order it through Griffin, they send you fingerprint cards. So when you can do that, and me and J Murph talked about this too, you can do your fingerprint cards, and then you send them into Capital Armory and they have them on file. You only ever do it one time, which is cool. But I didn't want to deal with any of that. I want to just have my EFT. So when you register with Capital Armory, they say, hey, here's a couple places you can go to that you can also go get your prints done digitally, so you have the file. So I wanted to know the experience for both. So I went and got my prints done digitally just so I have them. It costs like $60 or something. You have them forever. But so yeah, it took
Where'd you go to do that?
It's a place. It was down by the mall. I'll tell you where it is. It was not far.
Down by the river.
In the middle of the mall, right next to the photo booth.
Well, it's like some background. It was like some background.
Like barber.
It was kind of
China.
It's like a what is it? Not pregnancy place.
Somebody's wearing your face right now.
We'll teach you how to hair.
It's like when they check to see who, like paternity tests and like all this stuff. Like you go, like it's almost like a nursing office, and you go in and there's like this machine, and you're like,
Weird.
okay, put your hands on the thing and do your thing. Like, oh, okay,
Like, are you here for a vasectomy? No, fingerprints. Okay, this line
okay,
over
yeah.
here.
Did you give him a semen sample too?
It seemed that would be the place to do it. It was very weird. I was like,
That's
is your wife gonna come with you? I was like,
samples.
I think she's seen my fingerprints before. Like, it should be fine.
Those
Oh,
places are
you're-
easy to spot. It depends on what type of magazine they
Mhm.
had.
Yeah.
So William Ragsdale says, "Oh no, Jason's here now. We can't derail the stream." And Croak said, "Jason doesn't really stop anything. Some of our most off the rail nights were with Jason."
True.
I will
That's
say the
true.
most off the rail though is when the team is not together and we have to like think of something new to do. So we're like, okay, we're gonna do survival scenarios, but we're gonna
Also
do
true.
viewer made survival scenarios. Like, wow, we're just gonna like straight up, we're gonna give the keys to the viewers.
So this is an interesting question by Mission 7 Tactical. Says the question is, why is it only taken as little as a few days for a suppressor? Sounds like it could have been this way for years.
Okay, so yeah, we asked this a bunch last week. Oh, good, Joe, you got it.
No, go ahead. Because mine and complete sovereign citizen answer.
Well, from what I understood, so I talked to our favorite libertarian, and I guess he confirmed with what Croak and a bunch of other guys said. They really made, I don't know why it took brain power to figure this out, but everything was getting backed up because you have a couple different people. So you have all these John Smiths and all these common names that were botching everything up and making it so that, it'd make this mess of who these people are, or like someone would get marked, hey, there's got flags. So everyone got slowed down by the slowest person. So it just took forever. So they basically made two piles of people. Like, hey, a computer basically now verifies, and if the computer flags you as green, you're done. You don't even get seen by a person. You don't even do anything. It just
wow.
goes. And then the other one is like, okay, you got flagged. You have, you're showing a DUI 23 years ago or whatever. Okay, we looked at you. Okay, you're good. So then there's like a slower process so there's basically two lanes now, which boggles my mind that it took this long to get to that, but whatever.
So, okay, for those of us that have worked for the federal government, my last agency, it wasn't until 2018 that I was allowed to do digital signatures for stuff. My boss, who was in Denver, would have to snail mail forms to me. I'd have to sign them with ink, scan him a copy so he could have a copy, but then mail the original back to him. Like digital signatures in the federal government were not the norm as of like COVID.
Yeah, I think that's the craziest part where when you do Capital Armory, where you just share the screen, then they have you take over. So you click because they can't click on things for you, so you have to make your own selections, but you're just controlling it remotely, and then you're putting in all your stuff. It was pretty smooth.
I got to do that.
Yeah, they totally outsmarted
Jason and Joe. Our old agency just now said we no longer have to have a physical case file. You could put it all on the interwebs.
Oh, digital? Oh, nice.
And that's it. You don't have to. We used to print stuff out that we got
just to put in there.
Yeah.
Just to put it in the case file to ship it to archive to sit in some room. Now,
and then when Discovery happened, you had to go and photocopy the entire thing instead of just dropping everything on a thumb drive or disk.
So here's a good one for you guys will love. So my last agency, they were in the process of buying a new case management system. Had to work out some kinks. Didn't want to pay the monthly fee or for whatever for the old one. So now they have 30 days of no case management system. I was talking to one of the guys like we just basically don't work this month.
Nice.
That's federal government, guys.
We have a new case management system. Excuse me.
I remember.
Yeah. So my answer to all this is so if I'm the big bad government and I don't like people with guns, and the more guns you have, the scarier person you are, how without a registry am I going to identify the people with the most and scariest guns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
So,
make them apply for suppressors. We'll hear their hotshot. Nobody wants to do suppressor because of a year wait. Well, drop the weight, and then you'll be able to identify everybody.
Oh, that's the negative.
Bingo, dude.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, in a way, you could also quickly get a registry.
Got him.
If you just let everybody process their stuff, because you're still making money off of them. Now you just didn't slow it down, and the same people. Yeah. But yeah, that's weird.
Or you could just be loud like me.
That's Sturgis.
Was he
Yeah,
here last week?
Sturgis.
I don't remember the
Yes.
name. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you,
How?
but welcome.
So hold on. I need to
Was I
give
here
him.
last week?
I need to give him some power. So not only did Sturgis join the Discord right after the live chat, he changed his name in the Discord to Sturgis. He
To Sturgis, good for
he
him.
just completely took on his whole new personality. He's like,
I love it.
I was like, you just accepted it.
Love
He's
it.
like, this is who I am now. I was like,
And he gave us a $5 super chat. It says, "Welcome
Wow.
to the next tax bracket."
Nice.
yeah, super
I'm
proud
pretty
of
sure he
Stroke just
became
said
a
I'm
member
right.
last
Take a
year.
screenshot of that.
Joe and Walsh are both
Wow.
right.
Oh, whoa,
That's scary.
that doesn't happen very often.
Are you watching the
Right?
same live chat we are?
Yeah, I don't
we
think
didn't
so.
even we didn't even agree when we play Helldivers. Like, we got to go south. Like, I don't think so.
He still hasn't friended me. I sent him a request like over a month ago. He's like, F that dude.
Yes, I did.
The dude says, "I'm already on lists. Might as well be quiet for neighbors if the pooch shooters show up."
Yeah.
Yep.
Love that.
I do. One
Pooch
thing that
shooters.
does worry me a lot is, Joe does bring up that, we could naturally be on this registry, but, and we all talk about like how we be good at, if you have intruders in the house, like kind of what you would think to yourself, hey, what's my plan? But the way more likely, because this is the scary part of it, the way more likely person to be at the door in the middle of the night is the police,
Mm-hmm.
just barreling in.
At this point.
Yeah, at this point, like,
Yeah, but what I hate about the whole thing, right? Like you're in bed, okay, and they knock, boom, boom, boom. Please open up. Battering ram,
police.
like
Yeah.
right, followed by a battering ram, right? Why can't criminals say police open
They
up?
do.
They do all the time.
That do
But
that.
yet they rush in like crazy.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
like why don't we wait people out? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, where I'm at, I'm gonna get like a million alerts that said like, "Hey, so and so's in your perimeter. So and so's crossed this threshold. So and so has gone over this designated pathway." Like, it marks exactly where there's movement and getting alerted to it all. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go grab something because everything's going crazy. Like,
Welcome to the Jungle starts playing. Strobe lights come on and it's a party.
All the
dude.
lights turn red. There's
The
fog.
dude says,
It's like, what is going on here?
they already have registries for firearm sales. To say they don't is pure denial. Suppressor registries is superfluous.
I'm with the dude. I agree. I think as much as they say like, "Oh, there's sales, they're not tracking your sales." Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. You're putting it into a computer database, so I could definitely see that.
Okay, so maybe we'll get into this in the Second Amendment section, but I've seen a lot of things about. I haven't been following it, I guess, but the FFL ruling. You guys know what? There's been some comments about an FFL ruling.
Don't even talk about it. I have a whole look. I did my homework this time.
Okay, all right. We'll
even wrote down. No. Are you talking about engaged in the business as a dealer in firearms? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, hold on.
That's what I have my notes about.
Joe brought notes, guys. I want to tell you, I went to classes with Joe, but he didn't write down anything. Nothing. I think probably like 6 weeks. He didn't write down anything. So the fact that he brought notes to me,
Joe never took notes when we did interviews.
Listen.
True.
Joe in school is like this the whole time. He's like,
actually, 100%. Remember how mad Stuart got? So we had a guy. He was a really good guy. Really smart. He sat right next to me, and I would just be sitting there fidgeting the whole class, and he took copious notes. Real small writing, perfect handwriting, copious notes, dude. Really smart guy. And then we would take a test and I would outscore him, and he'd get so mad.
And the whole time Joe's just sitting there like, "This is my hair. This is my hair. This is my arms."
I was sitting there breaking in my holster for like 4 weeks straight, dude.
Sorry. Shadowman had another super chat. I don't want to deny him.
Shadowman gave us another super chat. Says, "Why do these sprinklers smell like gas?"
Your wife's gonna get you in trouble.
What movie was that?
I don't know.
There's one at the very beginning where the
Red Dawn.
No.
Hey, did you guys watch
they
Fallout?
No, I haven't.
No, I want to watch it.
Is it good?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
You're gonna want to
All right.
watch that. Yeah.
Is it? Do they have like all the episodes? Is it a movie or is it a TV show?
I think it's just a TV. I think it's just one episode right now, but it was long. I think it was like an hour or more. It was really
Okay.
long. Yeah, it was pretty
No,
good.
I'm gonna wait for it all to come out, so don't ruin it.
Okay, so before we go into our 30-minute section, what was the other video that came out this week?
It was the Bul Armory Tomahawk.
Oh, the Tomahawk. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm super excited for you.
That
to
was
get your
this
hands on
week?
it. Yeah, I got confused. That Siley optic. I can't wait.
yeah.
I can't wait till you get to Siley and tell me how much you hate it. I really do think the Bull, like in your hands, I think you're gonna have a way better perspective than me because I'm looking at it from like, hey, it's not a 2011, and it's like that's a weird standard. Where you're gonna look at it and be like, okay, this is this and this is that from a Glock. I hate it regardless, but
Okay, so I got to say, there was a team meeting today, and my boss was telling us about how they might be purchasing new Gen 5 Glocks with the MOS, and I think he was saying that they're going to get an EOTech optic because it had. I'm not joking. This is the word he used. You can change the different reticules.
Reticules?
Yeah, the reticules. Get different reticules.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Because
right.
that's what you need. That's
That's
what I look for in an optic.
This is our firearms
can
instructor.
I change it?
He is our firearms instructor, and he's like, "You want these ones
Circle
because they
to
have
that.
different reticules."
all right,
Cool.
yeah. So I'm
You should have
excited.
been like, can you say that again one more time?
I will say that I've not shoot a lot of ported guns before. I don't know if maybe Joe has. I think you've shot some with Sean, maybe. But that probably one of the flattest shooting guns. I just sit there and just was destroying the target with that, and I was like, dude, this thing's awesome, but it just wasn't one of my favorites. It made a hell of a mess out the top.
I want
to
to see too, Jason, for an idea for you if you have a chrono, because
do.
those ports start really far back on that barrel.
Yeah, I don't have a chrono that would work with a pistol. I have one of those magneto speed ones.
Oh, what's
I wonder if I could get like a Caldwell.
Oh, what's the guy with the monocle?
They do work. The fin that go on the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're an adapter inside that kit for as long as they have pick on it.
It was like, hey, why am I having a brain? Croak, help me out. Who's the guy with the monocle who does testing with Bull stuff too? No. I love him to death. He's gonna
Monopoly Man.
Cyclops.
Mr. Peanut. Planar Peanut guy.
No. There was another YouTuber. I forget his name. Croak will put it in here, but he tested it. Humble Marksman. Thank God. Before I asked as you commented. Humble Marksman did test the chrono. It was only about 50. It was like 50 to 75 FPS loss is about all it was.
Oh, that ain't bad.
No, it went from like 1250 to like 1180.
Yeah, Croak says it's been tested, Joe. It's about 50 FPS loss over the solid barrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And someone else mentioned that too. Like,
Croak is like, I have the EOTech E-Flex. They're only pistol optic, and it's a single dot, and it doesn't have shake awake.
And it doesn't have different reticules.
Yeah, no. It only has one
doesn't have the reticules?
Yeah, it does.
I'm going to use that from now on, the reticules. How many reticules does this have?
Do it in your YouTube reviews just to
somebody obviously.
Okay, when I get the Siley, I'm going to be like,
out.
The reticule on this is not that bad.
And we call it a pizza reticule. Like say it's supposed to, like it's designed like a pizza slice, so it covers your target and then points to something else on the side.
Interesting reticule they chose.
Yeah. Okay, you gotta go back. We skipped like a million comments.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so this is getting back a little bit in comments. Croak, double locust, earthquakes in New Jersey, eclipse, Joe with notes, get right with Jesus, the end is nigh.
How funny would that be? Like we get to the end of times and like we're like walking up, like we gotta go like answer to God, like tell him what we did, and like we're like, I don't know what to do. And Joe has paper, like you guys didn't come prepared, like what?
He's like, you're in. You're in.
Yeah.
You did it right.
Yeah. Who got paper? Like Joe did. Like, where'd you get paper?
Where'd you get paper?
Who's taking notes?
You sell one firearm and you committed a crime after May something thanks to the new FFL rule. Okay, well, we'll talk about that in a half hour.
Yeah.
So if you guys, how it's supposed to work,
a whole half hour?
When I'm here and I'm by the book, at the half hour mark, we get into the Q&A. I do have questions, by the way. They're going to be saucy questions. Like I can already, I'm typing. I'm like, I cannot wait to hear Joe's answer to this.
Hey, I do want to comment. Well, since we're still talking about last week's videos, that I did use, Joe. I hope you noticed I did use your comment about
The reticule?
the Bul Tac. I wanted the Ferrari race car. I didn't want the Ferrari truck. Where the Tomahawk is cool, but it's like, hey, if you're gonna get something made by this tier of company, I want the high tier stuff they make.
I would,
and not like
and I like the analogy, and I would agree with you if it wasn't $800.
It's $750.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like Ferrari made a truck and then charged less than Dodge for it.
I don't know this analogy. I don't know enough about trucks to know this analogy.
Oh, I was
charged less than Ford.
I was laughing at the dude's comment, not Joe. I don't know what Joe said. Joe, what'd you say?
Nothing. It doesn't matter.
The dude said, "How are you guys pronouncing reticle again? Reticule? Better than my pops calling it a rectal."
That's even better.
That's even better.
So now, same.
If you do it on the side, you'd be like, "Walsh sent me this. It's got a pretty fancy rectal on it." And if anybody comments on it, we have to like just ignore it. Like those are NPCs. Like those are NPC comments. They aren't real.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do what's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch got like raked over the coals because he was voicing over for some like penguin documentary, and he kept saying penguin wrong, like the penguin.
Oh yeah,
penguin and all sorts of like weird names for it.
Yeah, he's British,
right?
No, he couldn't pronounce it. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
when he did that interview, that was actually pretty funny.
I should during the review, I'll use like reticule, reticule, the rectal,
rectal.
Yeah.
And people will have to catch on to it. They're like, okay, he's just
calling
these all kinds of dumb shit.
Croak says, I think Joe's saying the price is too low, so it won't get the flex points from those buyers, and it's too expensive for the budget buyers. Weird market space.
Like, it is a weird one, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
How Croak takes Joe's brain and like takes it apart and like I get what he's trying to say. Like he said it.
I comprehend this.
He says like it's Ford but Dodge, and then Croak spits all this out.
Ford but Dodge. Another YouTuber, welcome. He says, just started playing Helldivers 2. Never felt more patriotic. I know. I was like, super
for democracy.
Hey, another YouTuber. What's your screen name?
Yeah, because we should play. We're gonna figure out who you are.
Yeah, we're your friends. What's your username?
Send me a friend request.
No, hey, seriously, this is kind of a funny thing, but we play Helldivers with the viewers probably way more than they realize. Like we play with everybody.
These bastards. So I had to do like a mission. Walsh and Joe, not this Joe, Tactical Java were like, we'll wait for you. We'll do a mission. I finished my mission. And then he's like, never mind. Fallout's on. See you later.
Because Croak's hanging out with us. Croak's hanging out. He doesn't want to play. I was like, you don't play with? He's like, no. So he's just hanging out BS. And he's like, wait a minute. Did Fallout come out? And it was like, he's like, I'm going to go watch Fallout. So we're sitting there waiting for you. And it's like, I don't know how much longer Jason's going to be. And so we waited like 5 minutes or something. You hadn't responded. And I was like, I'm gonna go watch Fallout. He's like, me too. It's 100% Croak's fault.
It came out like Thursday, didn't it? It's weird.
I think so. We had no idea. Yeah. Croak's fault. I believe him.
Yeah. And Jason, just get used to that. He'll always be like, yeah, I'll carve some time out to play. And then he'll get on it like, hey guys, sorry, came in super late, had some stuff going on. All right, let's do this. You do one mission. Like, all right, I'm gonna go hang out with the wife. He's gone. It's like,
dude. The dude says next week's chat, Mill or MOA rectal penguins.
Oh, that's awesome. You should change it so it says that.
Paul Sturgill says, you guys are being ridiculous.
Rectilicus.
Michael Farley, he was saying it more like penguins, and it was made even funnier because he voiced a character in the Madagascar Penguins movie that came out around the same time.
Penguins?
Really? Dude, it's a funny like to hear the documentary.
And nobody corrected him.
No, and he was like, I'm
here's
afraid
the thing,
to say
somebody
the word
edited that.
We're just like, hey man, you gotta come in, we gotta record you.
Somebody edited it.
Yeah, but it's probably guys like us that were laughing so hard and they're like, I dare you, you won't leave that in there. You won't leave. I will leave it in there. Don't tease me with a good time. And now it's there.
Dude, there was a buddy of mine. He was an Army Special Forces guy, and we were messaging back and forth. And so, this is a great. Oh, it's a terrible story, but I laughed, so you guys will laugh, I'm sure. Okay, so there's this younger family that we went to church with, and the dad was a Vietnam vet, I think. His wife got killed in a car accident, and he ended up something happened. Like he went to the VA hospital in Utah, and basically his health was so bad that he would die multiple times a year, and they would resuscitate him. So I asked my friend, like, "Hey, how's your dad doing?" He's like, "Oh, he died this past Sunday." I was like, "Oh man, what happened?" So he gets taken out of the VA hospital by his daughter to go see a movie. Okay, and he's in a powered wheelchair. Guy has died multiple times every year, according to his son. And as he's leaving the movie theater, he decides to race his daughter back to the car in his motorized wheelchair. Doesn't see the stairs and frickin' Leroy Jenkins it off the stairs and dies. And I
love this dude.
I laughed. I felt.
I would have laughed too. I feel bad for the daughter that had to witness that.
And I was like, I'm sorry.
If there's a way to go, dude.
And he goes, no, it's fine.
What,
that's
for
when he
good?
told me, he's like, he died like 2 or 3 times every year, and they resuscitated him. It's just kind of weird that he went out by a set of stairs. And so I told my Army buddy, like, dude, I don't know
hanging off some stairs.
why that was funny. And he was like, it's our twisted sense of humor.
Yeah,
it's because we're not okay.
Yep,
we're not okay. Yeah.
Dude, he showed up to the Golden Gates with paper, laughing about it. So I don't want to hear anything from anybody.
Paper. That's right. With paper.
Like, hey, I'm ready.
He's probably like, where can I park this thing?
Zach
I don't need this no more.
You've got Benedict Cumberbatch in studio doing a voiceover. You do not correct him.
He's like,
true.
Penguins. Like,
Dude, he said it like 5 times. He couldn't think. You know how you get that brain fog and you can't get out of your own loop? Like, I can't think how to pronounce that. And that's exactly where he was.
When he say it and then somebody, like, well, nobody corrected me. It must be right. Like, no,
but then he changed it. It was different each time. I'm going to pull up the video. We're going to have
yeah,
to do
he knew that he was saying it wrong, but he couldn't say it correctly. I do that with certain words. I mean, it's dumb, but
all right.
Speaking of afterlife, did y'all see OJ died?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw the OJ like I'm running from the cops video with that "It's Been a Long Time" song from like Paul Walker's death playing. And I'm like, did OJ die? That's all I knew, dude.
Me and the wife were talking, and I was playing with this flag at the time. I like held my hand. I had like the memento mori on. I was like, well, I mean.
All right. So we are.
I wonder how that conversation's going.
I don't know. We are at half-hour mark. We have a sponsor tonight.
You probably
the guys are going to try to screw me up, and I already muted you already. Defense Mechanisms is our sponsor tonight. You can pick up one of these awesome advanced patrol outer carriers from Defense Mechanisms. I really love this, especially as a patrol style outer carrier, and they've just done so many fantastic things that they brought to market with this carrier in particular. You can check them out at defensemechanisms.com. Don't forget to use discount code TLDCO. You could check out Jesse that we had on our podcast. We're going to try to get Tim on our podcast as well. Probably anything that you're looking for tactical wise. I don't know why it went back to that. I will fix it.
Are we back?
Yes, we're back. DefenseMechanisms.com. TLDCO.
Did you hear us?
And the class is full now. Dang, we thought you could. We were doing all kinds of fun stuff.
Did you jack that up yourself? Like you did that bad all by yourself?
You're laughing.
Yeah. Because Walsh was like, hey. Doc Dole, what's up, buddy?
So the class is full now, but Jawa is coming with. He's coming to the training we're doing with them. So big thanks to those viewers. If you did sign up to come to that class, you'll be joining me with the Defense Mechanisms team. We'll be doing all kinds of stupid stuff, I'm sure.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Okay. What are these? You gonna put us in the QA setup or what?
Oh yeah, let me do that. Oh, Missed that. There we
Tom?
go.
What's XL Tomahawk talking about? What is he talking about?
I don't know.
Wait, is he parody?
Parody? I'm trying to find the penguin.
No.
Can't say penguins.
Yeah, that's it.
Let me
Where you
see
been?
if I can.
Where you been, Dr. Dole?
Probably traveling around. Did you
Doing
see
doctor
Croak's
stuff?
comment? Croak goes, they need a white stretch Ford Bronco for Jason.
All right.
For the Hearst.
Yeah.
So here's the Benedict Cumberbatch can't say penguins.
Is penguins. Crested penguins. Parent penguin heading home. So why are these woodlands
Penguin.
so attractive to penguins?
Penguins.
Why don't they stop him? Be like, that's not how you say it. Like,
I don't know.
Was he
man.
drunk?
No, he did an interview.
what did he say?
Yeah, he
That's
did
where I
interview about
saw
it.
it.
He was
And
like,
they brought it up.
yeah, he was like, I'm afraid to say it now. Like he can't say it.
Penguins.
Yeah.
Penguins.
It's not even close to like
Penguins.
penguins. Like, oh, he's doing a funny penguins things. Like, oh, penguins.
Samsonite.
Pen
There had
lines.
to be somebody
So close.
somebody in the sound booth that were like, what did you say? Say that again?
Yeah.
Like, no, think of it this
no,
way. How many
penguins.
times did he get told he has to redo it? Like, what did he say on the other ones that weren't good? Like, how was
Yeah.
that the good one?
Yeah.
Like, and then
Yeah.
we find the wonderful penlands. Like, okay,
No. Do that one again.
you got to do that over. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
He's like the Liberty Beverly guy. Like he just screwed it up so much they
Yeah.
just let him run with it.
Yeah.
Liberty Beverly.
You replace me with that guy? He doesn't even have a mustache.
Our Thursday Night Live. I love our Thursday Night Live chats. All right. So question number one, and this really gets into the 2A. I know we're going to dive more into this, but I really want to get your guys' opinion because I don't think we're going to have enough time in the 15 minutes we set aside for Second Amendment stuff. So if you paid attention to what happened in Washington, what do you think about the hour-long magazine ban injunction?
I wasn't paying attention to that.
What if I didn't pay attention?
Okay, so the state there's two lawsuits for Washington's magazine ban, high capacity magazine ban. One went federally,
Wasn't even
one
a
went
real
to the
judge.
state. The state ruled it as unconstitutional. The county judge ruled it unconstitutional and put in an injunction in place. So everyone in Washington thought, hey, we're going to have like a freedom week like California had. Washington gun law put out a video. Mr. Guns and Gear. Oh, Walsh is gone. Mr. Guns and Gear put out a video, and it was like less than an hour later, the state Supreme Court put a stay on the injunction, and the law needs to be, what do you call it? Enforced.
Yeah.
I didn't leave. You left.
Yeah.
You hang up. No, you hang up.
Can you hear me now?
Why is this not working with Walsh?
He's like
Asking Jason, like, what are our thoughts about it?
Yeah.
I guess, Cody, you want to start? Walsh, you want to start?
I rage quit in
I
the
was just
middle
gonna
of that.
say, so
Died accident.
so like the state judge stepped on it. How's he gonna feel when somebody steps on him? Is that still a possibility?
All right.
Can somebody can somebody else put an injunction in?
So if the state it's up now before the state Supreme Court, and if they rule against the I don't know how you say it, against gun owners, then the only other option we have is the U.S. Supreme Court.
Right.
So, and Croak brought up a good point because for the thing that doesn't move fast is laws and courts. Like in reality, like if you can actually do like some weird stuff people say is if you can do enough crimes and keep doing more and more crimes, it'll take you so long for the system to catch up with you that you would never get punished, right? So Croak brings up a good point is they had all the info before the ruling. To have someone put in an injunction an hour after means everything was already drafted, everything was already done, everything was already in place and ready to roll. Like an hour is probably as fast as you could run it.
Yeah.
So
Zach Fett
Yeah.
says the fix was in.
yeah, that's
And
that's a little interesting.
that echo or is in line with what I was going to say is I remember a time, I'm not that old, but I remember a time when judges used to hide their biases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Judging have always been biased, but judging also would always be like, we are by the letter of the law and I am non-biased and this and
Yeah.
that, right? And they used to really try to hide their biases. Those days are gone.
Yeah, I'd say the last time I saw
They
that
don't
we
care.
had a state convention, and there was these 3 judges that came and spoke before the Republican convention here at the state, and they asked not to be endorsed. They didn't want to be endorsed by the Republican Party because they were also going to go to the Democrat convention and speak at the Democrat convention. And the idea behind it is exactly what Joe's saying. I think these guys, it was like the last breed. They really want to be the best judge that they can be for everybody, not left, not right. They want to be the best judge for the people, and that's why they
Right. It
want to
should
talk to
be
the
the law.
Republicans, they want to talk to the Democrats. They don't want endorsements from either. They just say, "Hey, if you think that I'm the best for you, then please vote for me." And I think I don't think you're going to see a lot of that going forward. I think it's going to be
No.
exactly what Joe's saying, where it's
And it used
And
to
that
be
should
the
not
other
be a
way,
political
right?
Position.
yeah,
Right.
I
It
think
used to be the lawyers trying to find like the spin the law a certain way or make it go into their favor, That used to be the lawyer job. And then the judge used to sit there and they were supposed to be the non-bias. This is what the law says. This is what we're going to do. Now, especially in your state, Jason,
yeah,
there are a lot of ruling where they're just making up their own words, right? Like in common use. Okay, the Heller decision, guns that are in common use, right? You just had, I think in Washington, just had a law a couple months ago where they put their own words into it for your assault weapon ban.
I think so. Yeah,
Instead of just in common use, they put in common use for self-defense.
right.
Like they just made up their own words to put in there. That Heller doesn't say in common use for self-defense, and anything can be for self-defense.
But I will say, I think it comes from the top level. Like even our Supreme Court judges, it's like which Supreme Court judges are Democratic and which ones are conservative. And I'm going to be the one that says, hey, you should have removed those hats the moment you walked into that office.
Yeah.
Because if
You
a
shouldn't
law
make it the high. If you side with one side or the other, how are you
you're
this
doing it
high?
wrong. Exactly. Like whatever the law is, if you look at the paper and you look at it cleanly, there shouldn't be a 6-4. I'm using made up numbers, but
Yeah.
there shouldn't be a 6-4 split. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, all the Republicans thought it was this, all the Democrats thought it was, all the judges thought it was this. No, a-holes. Like you guys swore you weren't going to do that. You're gonna
And
you're gonna be
9-1 and
above your own
8-2 I
law.
can understand,
Yeah.
but because people do think differently, right? They can interpret differently. But yeah, when it's very cut and dry, and if it's weighted one side or the other, what the ruling's going to be. That's stupid.
It is never that cut and dry, right? Because when it comes down to like, hey, what are my thoughts? My thoughts are over here. What does it say when we look at the paper? Those are two different things, right? And that's why, like, you have to be able to look at them like, hey, Joe, I don't agree with you, but when we look at the paper, you're right. I have to concede with you and not be like, well, yep, you're right, but I'm just gonna and like, it's rampant on all the rounds. And Tomahawk's saying is no one will hide their bases anymore. We all have to be tribalistic society and can't venture out. Right. And I totally agree with him. No one can be like, hey, Joe, you're right. What I'm thinking is just my thoughts, but what this paper says doesn't agree with what my thoughts are. And I have to concede that. That thought process, impossible.
Yeah. And it's amazing how you can read, I'm not going to get into a debate about it, but how some people can say that abortion is a constitutional right, but shall not be infringed doesn't mean, it means that it's only for the militia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know what you're reading.
It gets interpreted one way with one hand and then interpreted another way with the other hand. And
it's
like
interesting.
Suppressor are a firearm. That's why we can control them. Suppressor aren't a firearm.
I can't shoot it.
Yeah. So I kind of had an interesting I don't know, example with my 6-year-old where she laid out this frozen blanket on the ground, and she's learning the difference between vertical and horizontal. And so she was standing on one edge and she was like, is this horizontal or is this vertical? My 4-year-old was standing where from her perspective it was horizontal, but the 6-year-old was vertical. And I was like, well, from where you are, it's vertical, but where the 4-year-old is, it's horizontal. And she was like, I want it to be vertical. I was like, well, it is for you. It's just not for the other one, my other daughter.
Yeah, there's a cartoon like that with the number 6 or the number 9, depending on
Yeah.
where you're standing,
Yeah.
with two people standing yelling at each other. It's a 6. It's a 9.
Yep. But trying to explain that to a 6-year-old and seeing how difficult that was, it was like, why can't full-grown
I would
adults with
way,
like developed brains figure this out?
You ever see that
I
picture
would
where
way rather explain it to your 6-year-old than a
Oh
liberal.
yeah.
I can tell
Yeah.
you that.
did you ever see that? It kind of, but it goes both ways, though, right? So that's I think that's our part you have to remember too.
I
Is like,
know.
there's some part we don't understand. It is because it's funny when you see like that flag where it's like some people see it and it's a duck, and some people see it's a rabbit, but it's the same flag. So, but
Yeah.
it says like the duck worshippers are gonna go fight the rabbit worshippers, but they have the
Yeah.
same flag.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
076 Liberty says, shall not be infringe is a pretty simple concept. Croak.
You
Solomon
think
used
so?
to be the example. Common sense
What
should
does he mean
be
by that?
too, but evidence is Solomon
Yeah.
from Solomon's temple.
Let's assume I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I believe he's talking about Solomon from the Bible being a very good person, a good man, and that was the example that people should be held to or used to be held to back in the day.
Okay.
But maybe Croak's going to come in here and be like, no, I'm talking about Solomon Grundy.
Owner of the Gundies. Like, yeah.
Oh, look, we got another rock.
Yeah.
You
Oh
got
yeah.
some rock.
Maurice Barlow's here. You see that?
Yeah. Hello, you guys rock. What's up, Maurice?
Thanks, Maurice.
Hey, so
Okay, so this is interesting because this ties into my second question.
Can I say something funny? This real quick today.
Yeah.
Copy paste incoming.
I think it was Barrel and Hatchet or somebody, and it's like, what was your thoughts about, like, what were your thoughts about using muzzle brakes indoors and concussive blasts? I made a comment to him. I was like, I've learned concussive blasts. There's another word for that. It's called FUD finder. Like, hey, who's shooting that loud gun? Anyway, sorry.
There you go. Croak says, the judgment of Solomon is a story from the Hebrew Bible in which Solomon ruled between two women who both claimed to be the mother of a child. So the whole like split the baby in half. You each can have half. And then the real mom was like, no, she can have the baby. She didn't want the baby to die.
Well,
you then. Yeah, then
you can tell that Jason the only one getting through the gates paper or not. I mean, we're all just like, duh.
They're gonna be like, all right, tell me the story of Solomon, and it's gonna be like, come on, hello, sir. Like, tell me the story of Solomon. Okay, have a great one.
Solomon Grundy, born on a Sunday.
But I brought paper.
Yeah. Solomon Grundy, he made the Gundies. He's a great guy. Like,
all right. So, question number 2: what options are there for state Supreme Courts that don't uphold the Constitution? And I'm not saying like I think I know what Joe's response would be to this.
No, now hear me out though. We are on the precipice of this, and I'm very interested to see what's going to happen from both sides of the aisle, right? So we take the same thing. So let's take. We're really just talking about which right each side wants to remove from everyone else, right? Do we want to remove a right of abortion, or do we want to remove a right of firearm? So it's just a question of ultimately which right we want to remove. Okay, it's not about like which right we want to give, but if at the end of the day the courts just say we're not listening, what happens, right? We're seeing that in Hawaii. Like we've talked about it a bunch. What if they say like, hey, they say that you have to let us buy guns? No.
Well, and this kind of goes back. This was a conversation we had a few weeks ago where Joe really got animated about the idea that these rights, the idea behind the Constitution and what it says is that these rights are not given to us by the government. These rights are given to us by our creator and are supposed to be protected by the government. And so now what we're seeing is these rights that have been given to us by our creator are not being protected by the government.
Right.
So
And the
Croak
government
says,
acting like they have control over what rights we have and what we don't.
I think it's a little more nefarious than that. I think it's the government is actively going against, they're trying to strip you of those rights instead of protect those rights.
I agree.
Yeah, but ultimately,
somebody told me to go full sovereign citizen. Go all sovereign citizen.
Someone says that.
I'm biting my tongue, dude. I'm biting my tongue.
And maybe this is a good question for me, just from a
political
science standpoint of like, what happens when the state says no? Like, okay, hey, Supreme Court says you have to let people buy firearms.
Well,
just a good example because Hawaii is an example I can think of. And Hawaii still says no.
Yep.
What happens?
So I think you're going to have more instances like what happened in Michigan and the whole Governor Whitmer, I think that's her name. Where they're like the FBI were trying to get those guys to kidnap the governor of Michigan. Did you hear? Am I speaking nonsense?
No. I'm familiar with
it. I remember something about it. It was a while ago, right?
But that's kind of something that I've been thinking a lot about. Like when will gun owners reach their breaking point?
Right. Dude, I was thinking about that just the other day. Cause I'm about tired. We were talking about it before we got on the show. All right, I'm not going to go full sovereign citizen, only partially.
I like what you do.
Yeah.
I am about tired of paying taxes right now. Like I am dude, like no joke, dude. There's like 30 to 40% of my income going towards taxes, and it's driving me nuts. And it was 2% tax on tea, 2% tax on one item that caused our forefather to kick that crap into the harbor and be like, "That's it. We're not taking this. We're going to war."
Okay, so
2%, dude. 2%. So, Jason, I'm with you. I don't know where that point is, but let me answer the question. What I think, right? We all have jobs. If we do not adequately perform at those jobs, what happened to our job? We lose our job, right? These judges, they get brought up on the criminal side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you put your case before them, and they determine what happened to your life based on what you've done. They are judging because they judge, right?
Oh, I didn't
but
know.
But here that is how it works.
Continue
You're
on,
welcome.
Joe. I'll let him
You're welcome.
you.
Yes.
So what happened when they are not ethical? What happened when they continuously get it wrong, whether they want to or not, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I had my company best intention at heart when I drove a truck through, off a cliff. It doesn't matter. I still didn't do my job correctly. I strongly believe that there should be, right? There should be an avenue to get judge out of their seat. That's not as hard as it is currently.
Yeah.
And Jason, we talk about tipping point. I made it was like a funny satirical post, but like I put it on the YouTube stories because it was like, the guy was like, when are we going to go? Like people want to go into civil war. Like when's this going to happen? And Crow kind of says it too. He's like, there won't be a tipping point. It's just a whimper. And I'm not trying to say this in a mean way, but we're lazy. Like a lot of us are very lazy. How many people want to go on foot, put their boots on and go march out 50? We're just going to give up every luxury we have. We're going to march every day to fight for these things. Maybe, but I hate to say, but the society is lazy at large. There are apps for everything. Life is simple. Life is easy. The things that we don't have become inconveniences. The rights we're losing are inconveniences, and to put your life on the line for them on a mass scale would be very, very surprising to see. It'd be like, hey, I'm going to go fight this. Dude, call me. Let me know how it goes.
Yeah, we've all seen it, right? Well,
Who are we fighting
we've been
against?
deployed.
Are we fighting against the woke?
Somebody.
I don't know.
Who
They probably
knows?
don't know.
Easy.
That's the thing is, they probably don't know we're
Easy
fighting
money.
against them. Like, hey, we're fighting against you. Like, bro, I'm not fighting you. Like, oh, I think we're good then. Like, wait, who are
Yeah.
you fighting?
They wouldn't
The
show up.
judges? Like, you're gonna fight the judges in the system? Like,
Right.
what are you warring against? We want to
Well,
secede.
see,
Like, good luck.
we've been to country, right? You put somebody in jail, and the entire village or whatever comes out protesting. Okay, so there are 2,000 people outside the jail with 10 Afghan police in it, and the Arbob from that village says, "You're gonna release him. I'll take control of him. I'll make sure that he doesn't do this stupid stuff again. Plant IEDs, right?" And they do because of 10 versus 2,000.
Yeah.
But we're not that society anymore. We're not the people anymore. I mean, if you needed anything to show you that, it should have been what's his name that got put into jail for a piece of metal with a drawing on it.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's so
Why
interesting
is he in jail? Like nobody knows. Nobody knows. How is that not First Amendment protected? How is that a machine gun when you draw a picture?
Yeah, there has to be more. I'm with you, Joe. There has to be so much more to that we just don't understand because it doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, he talked about this, but I did hear rumor that there was a Croak. He's such a good encyclopedia. I did hear there was a video he took down one time where someone showed him how to use it, but I don't know if that's true.
Even so, dude. Even so,
Even
I
then.
don't care. But you see 6,000 people. 10 million people, 600,000 people march on Washington, right? If 100,000 people marched on that jail, and they said you're going to release this person, or we're going to come in and we're going to release everybody, what would they do, dude?
Yeah.
Well,
I love this.
Go ahead.
There's a comment by 076 Liberty that says, revolution only happens when it's better than everyday life.
Yeah.
And I think going back to what Croak said, where he said something like, not to be all black pill, but they're boiling the frog and it's working. There won't be a tipping point, just a whimper. Eventually, the idea of a revolution being better than everyday life, I think by that point, it's going to be too late.
Well, and it's an interesting thing too, because people talk about, hey, and this is where you start to look at the ideas and like, well, you know, one day there's going to be a civil war. Like, okay, well, who are the sides, right? Are you talking like rural versus city? You're talking like political sides? Because then we start to look at the military and like, well, there are as many conservative, like you go into the military, it's the whole melting pot of America. In that whole, like, there's criminals, there's rapists, there's all the horrible people. We still have all of them in the military too. So there's going to be that same 50%. So like, is the military going to fight itself? Like, because some people are going to say, like, hey, go attack everybody in Atlanta. And one guy's going to say no. And one guy's going to say yes. Right. Yeah. So they're going to be completely immobilized. So like, you're not going to have those, like, what are the forces? So it's a weird concept to think that's
my question is, what's the next big thing that's going to come out or happen or whatever that just draws your attention away from all this?
Yeah.
The election.
Yeah, that's what I think is happening. You know what I mean? There's a movie coming out called The Civil War. You guys seen that? The previews?
Yeah. I love how they put Texas and
tomorrow.
They put Texas and California working. I was looking at some of the notes, like they put Texas and California working together so that they could make the movie. So it's not one of those like, hey, we're making it political, we're making it against one side or the other. It's an idea and a story. It's not like we're literally trying to not make it what people want to make it into of like, oh, it's them versus us. Like, no, it's America versus Texas and California because that's where both groups of the crazies are. We're just gonna terminate crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Zach that says, for those who think the military is on our side, I've got some bad news for you.
Some may.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what your side is. Like, there's some conservatives, there's some liberals, there's some wild liberals in the military. There's some wild conservatives. So you're just gonna have all that. That's to be like, oh, the military. Yeah, the military's on my team. Like, I wouldn't bet on that.
Well, you see so many videos of like people yelling at cops that are breaking their oaths. Like you took an oath. Clearly, that doesn't mean as much to some people as it does to others.
Well, and also when it comes down, I mean, I'm not starting to be.
99% of the military and law enforcement couldn't recite the oath to you right now if you paid them $1 million.
And they're there because they're paid to be there, and they're in debt so far that they have no choice but to be there.
Yep.
So they
Yeah.
don't have the option
I
to leave.
that
They don't
was
have the
one of
option
the
to say
things
no.
that I took great pride in is memorizing and learning the oath and knowing what I'm swearing to. Not when I first joined out young and 18 and dumb, and I just repeat after me in 3 words at a time so we don't mess it up. But eventually I did.
I'm a little scared though. Joe and I have agreed like this entire live chat. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the end.
obviously
Joe has his paper.
Helldiver have worked out for you.
All right.
Welcome to the
Well,
red pill.
we are at our hour mark, which is everyone's favorite 2A news. And from what I heard, Joe brought notes.
I know.
He's
I did.
ready.
Are we just
so
gonna give him his
talked
soapbox?
we talked
Ready for
about
Joe's notes?
we talked about the Washington magazine ban hour-long injunction that went tits up. But I'm curious about this FFL thing, Joe.
Okay, so what they're doing, of course, if they're not making laws, they're just writing a rule, right, guys? Just a rule. You know, the type of rule that can send you to jail for 10 years? That type of rule. So what they did, if they wrote a rule or redefined the definition of engaged in the business as a dealer in firearms. So what that's saying, it's a fancy way of saying when you need to be an FFL. And there's a lot of heebie-jeebie in there. There are a lot of people opinion like saying, well, this is what they mean by that. What they're saying, ultimately what it comes down to is if you're selling guns predominantly to earn a profit, right? And that's a gun, that's 50 gun, that's any gun, right? Predominantly to earn a profit. Now, they do say in there that it does not include your personal collection, but I would argue as a lawyer, right, that's that whole gray area. I would argue as a lawyer that if you bought a gun for $100 for your personal collection and 5 years later you're selling it for $500, that's earning a profit. So they're saying that
the word is predominantly. That's
an
interval of time, which under what frequency of time, which that's the part I don't understand from a legalese. Like that should be a quantifiable number.
Right. So it's overly vague, right? Which, as we know, a law that overly vague and unconstitutional in our face, but whatever. Not for FPC to argue. I'm sure they'll jump on this for us. But they're saying that if that's why, then you have to be an FFL, which is the dumbest crap I've ever heard. Why, if they wanted to do that, right? And this is just me thinking or spitballing, and I don't say that I condone that because any infringement unconstitutional. But if they wanted to do that, why don't they just enact like something that a lot of states like Colorado has, that if you sell a firearm, it has to be through an FFL, right?
That's probably the way to get
Because what they're saying, if they want people to go through background checks, so then the whole like, gun shows and buying guns from parking lots from private party and private seller stops happening. And so they can do background checks. But you're making everybody be an FFL. Why don't you just say that you have to go through an FFL in order to sell a firearm?
Yeah. But like your punishment can't be to apply for a process and pay a fee, because then like how do you follow up on that? If you say like, okay, we've determined you have to be an FFL. Okay, under what time?
Yeah, but by the time they determine that, you're already in jail. That's the problem. And what I hate about this entire thing, and it's on the heels of the bipartisan Safer Community Act, which, as we all know, I won't use the term rhino, right? But there was people that we didn't want to vote for them that did, and they're like, oh, they're bipartisan, and they're going to make our community safer and all that other stuff. And here we are, right? Give an inch, take a mile. So yeah, I mean that's where we're at. I don't know who falls into it. Nobody does. I don't know why they would fall into it, and then you have to become an FFL, which they're actively trying to defeat FFL and put them out of business. But you just made everybody that wants to sell a gun pretty much needing to be an FFL, because any gun that I sell, I want to sell it for more than I bought it for, of course. But that doesn't pertain to just guns. That pertains to anything that I buy. If I can make a buck, I'm gonna make a buck.
Right. playing devil's advocate here. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
I was going to read a comment. So
give me 1 second. So, playing devil's advocate here. Let's say there's a fringe amount of people who are ruining this for everybody else. Where like there's a 3% that are masquerading their business as private sales, and that's who they're going after. It's those guys they're going after. And it's like,
Right.
okay, well, you have to find some way you're going to notify those guys. You have to find some way to quantify, hey, X amount of money within X amount of period or Y amount of period should trigger this, and that should be clear. So if I say, hey, I've just sold enough personal firearms to break threshold, then
no. It's predominantly to earn a profit. They don't even have to prove. Sorry, I didn't even go into that. They don't even have to prove that you actually earned a profit. They have to say that you're predominantly doing it to earn a profit. You're trying to earn a profit.
So Croak said it's very vague on purpose. It's meant to scare as much as it is to be enforced. They'll nail some dude for making $10 on a high point just to further the fear. Then he goes on to say, look at what the bump stock or frame and receiver did to behavior. People stopped using or buying them. This will scare people from selling privately.
And yeah, I think that's so frustrating. But like, I guess to me, I would just loophole it by going to an FFL. Yeah, that's an annoying thing. And I have some connections with an FFL that probably most people don't have, where it's like, okay, whatever. That's a stupid, annoying.
That's my point. Like so they made that a rule for Colorado, right? Like if you're going to sell a firearm to anybody selling a firearm to anybody, a background check has to be accomplished and it has to be done through an FFL. Yeah. Now they convoluted the hell out of it by doing that 3-day waiting list. So what now? Like, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I want to sell a gun to you, right? We both go into the gun store. I bring it in. You bring money. It's like a broker, dude. I put my gun on the counter and say, I'm selling that gun to him. You fill out the background check. They put the background through. Okay, you passed before the 3-day waiting list. You passed. Okay, you passed. Give me the money. You give me the money. You take the gun.
Yeah.
Like the spirit of what they were trying to do is in effect there, right?
Yeah.
So what? Anybody trying to build like one-off custom rifle on the side for their friends now that you're felon, you can't build them.
Well,
even if you're going through an FFL, right? But even if you're going through an FFL and doing a background check, like even that scenario, okay? You come to me and you're like, "Hey, Joe, I really want a bolt action gun. I want a custom stock. I want all this stuff. Can you build it for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man. It'll be a little bit of money. It'll be like $1,000 and $200 for my time. I'll give you the friend break, right? That's for a profit, dude. Now I have to be an FFL. Even if you and I go into a gun store to an FFL and do the background check for you, or you buy the mechanism that's serialized and bring that over and we build it together, you're still paying me. I still have to be an FFL.
Right. I think the point exactly what Croak's getting into and the purpose of the law is to make it so ambiguous that you would see it that way, Joe, and I would see it another way of like, well, no, I don't read it that way at all. But like it instills both the fear and the confusion that they're trying to make. Yeah, the ambiguity.
But there's a rule. There's a rule about vagueness of a law, and if it's vague on its face, then it's not allowed.
Well,
it's unconstitutional. It is literally unconstitutional.
I love this live
but that's we go back to the biases, right? And the I'm not hiding my biases anymore. And judges, especially low end judges that we're going to be dealing with if we get brought up on charges, right? In my little city, they have their feeling all over the place. They're like, "Oh, you think you can sell firearm without a license? Go directly to jail." It's like, but I took it to an FFL. Go to jail. Shut your mouth.
And we see the auto key card guy. It's like, dude, he's literally just showing us what it is. He goes to jail.
Yeah.
Yep.
Croak says, and there are legit reasons to not have a 4473 on file. Red Dawn or whatever. I know dudes that are legal that won't set foot in a gun store to buy a gun.
Yeah.
Paul Sturgill, like the tax courts, guilty until you prove your innocence.
Uh-huh. And that's kind of what this is, which sucks. This isn't innocent. I mean, this is beyond a reasonable doubt. This is preponderance of evidence, 51%.
Yeah. So 076 Liberty says, it's a rule, not a law, but it'll take years and a lot of money to remove it, and they know it.
Mm.
But this is my point. When did this become tyrannical?
So Croak says, what we're not looking at is the ATF doesn't care if it sticks. They'll use tax money to fight this for years, and they've done what they wanted and controlled behavior for years.
Can you go up to another YouTuber comment?
Yeah. He says, how many back massages for a bolt action 308?
See, it's not predominantly for profit. Like,
but
go ahead.
what's funny if they put that in there.
Oh, is it say like or services?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I would have just started exchanging things, like exchanging things of value. Be like,
Yeah,
I will
it
give
sent.
you
I think it sent anything.
200
I forget
watermelons.
I forget what the wording is, but if money or thing of value or any type of exchange like that.
Yeah.
It's like, did you pay for this? I traded 200 back massages.
Yeah. You just gotta get clever, right? And if what they can prove.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna sell you this. Check out the keychain, Walsh. This is a pretty awesome keychain. I've been fidgeting with it, right? I will sell you this keychain for $1,500, and I'll give you the gun.
The gun for free. Yeah, we'll do the gun will be for free, but I'm going to sell you this
Who's to say that you're not an idiot and paid $1,500 and that's not illegal?
That's the best $1,500 strap I've ever seen.
Right. In this analogy of why I wonder why anybody get caught for prostitution.
I doubt that.
Yeah, what,
there
Cody?
are better straps than that. Right, Croak?
Yeah.
Right.
I like Jay Murphy's talking to them. He's like, people pay for stuff in gold up here. Trade gold for guns.
Paul Sturgill, I don't know. How do I make this heart icon thing go away? I don't know what you're talking about.
But we like it, though. It means you love us. Just leave it. Don't mess with it.
Don't leave.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Zach, the barter system always exists.
Well, that's what you can say. Like, hey, no, you go into a court of law and like, hey, you're being truthful. Like, did you pay for that gun? I'm like, no. Like, did you buy something else from him? Like, yep. Like, I bought an old wheel for $20,000. Like, that's between me and him.
I bought a jar of his pee.
Yeah. That's between. Why'd you pay that much? That's between me and him. Like,
yeah, his old sock, his sock that got the pair got eaten by the dryer. Like, how much did you pay for that sock? $2,500. Nobody in their right mind. I don't have to be in my right mind.
There's a floating heart in the chat bar that floats over comments that the viewers can trigger.
So they're messing with them.
Nurse dude says Walsh bathwater. Money.
Yeah. But do you know what solves all that? Do you know what solves all that?
Tell me.
People pleading the fifth. Like, if they came to me and they're like, hey, Joe, we want to talk to you about what Walsh sold you. You can ask my lawyer.
Yeah. And then you stop talking. I keep watching so many videos. Someone like, I'm going to plead the fifth. Okay. You know what that means?
And then they keep running their mouth.
Don't say a word after that. You nod. Like, don't nod. Nothing. You just stare at people like, I'm going to.
And then they just keep answering questions.
Stare at them.
Did you know that it's actually a precedent? Now I'm doing penguins. That you actually have to say the words "I invoke my Fifth Amendment right."
Yeah.
Just saying like "I want to remain silent" or anything like that doesn't trigger your Fifth Amendment.
Yeah.
Another YouTuber says wizards drink a fifth.
That counts.
That's the difference.
076 Liberty. Don't sell to feds.
Well, that's another way to do it too. Yeah. What if all my friends are feds? How does that work?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm seeing.
I don't sell guns.
Yeah.
Sturgis and Croak posted screenshots of the heart, floating heart thing in the comment.
Click on it.
I'm so happy.
Can you click? Hey, everyone.
Zachary Vet found alligators.
If you could click on the heart thing as much as you can, just to make it weird. Because we can't see it. We don't.
You know that does. I should have had someone early on go on to Rumble.
Incinerate.
Comments are working from Rumble or not.
Oh, I evoke my fifth pig because look at Croaks.
Your Honor, I invoke my 5th ping wings to not incinerate myself.
All right, keep clicking that heart though,
I
guys.
forgot what we were calling reticle, but
Reticule?
Rectal.
rectal, yeah, to not rectal myself.
I want to do it on a bunch of videos. Be like, so you can see on this new Holosun, it's got the circle rectal. Like, does he say? You pause. You're like, does he say rectal?
You don't even pause.
like-
You just automatically back tap twice.
Yeah,
Dude, it'll be like the Lev cursing from SHOT Show, where it's just a fart noise. People still comment to this day, like, did he fart?
No one really did. Like, they learned that we did it in the second one because I did it to him again. So they weren't nearly as many. But the first one still, like, it sounded like he tooted at 8:04. Like, bro, we don't hear it.
What are you talking about?
How about
Are you wearing headphones?
Bul Armory though?
Dude, we talked a little about the beginning.
Yeah, if you were here, another YouTuber, you would have known.
Another YouTuber. You were probably busy doing YouTube and weren't paying attention to what we were talking about. I did like it. I want Jason to see it. It's in a weird spot that it's both cheap and expensive. I think it's a better option than just getting a standard Glock. But I really liked it. But I think Jason's going to like it. I think he's going to get a better assessment than me. I don't know. I think.
Dude, okay, so I have some polymer guns. We're back on that, right? I have some polymer gun. I like the company that shall not be named.
I'm going to get one, by the way.
Yeah, buy it, right?
Yeah,
They're still giving you the cold shoulder.
evil.
Yeah, so
I think
shall
you made
not be
them
named.
years ago. I'm pretty sure.
Good.
I thought about it.
Good.
And I thought to myself, like, why are they not talking to us? Like, probably because we made them change the Hellcat trigger 2 years ago.
Yeah, good. F them.
Anyway,
but if I had the option to pay $200 to get a tricked out one of those when I was looking to buy that, like, I would 100% do that. 100%, dude.
It's fully tricked out too. Like, the video of me shooting it, I hadn't done anything with it. I just took it out and just started dancing with it. I'm like, dude, this thing's awesome. I didn't learn it or nothing.
I paid, I don't even know how much. $200, $300 just to get it milled and taller sights put on it.
Mischief Machine. Croak says Mischief Machine is making an aluminum frame for that unmentionable handgun.
I need one for my ex macro before I get one for the poop salon.
I need to get one for
which unmentionable? The Echelon?
Yeah.
My Masada.
What'd you call it? The poop salon?
Poop salon, yeah. No, I'm not going to say that. I think it's supposed to be good.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Joe drink nearly as much tonight.
No, I haven't been. Wizards. I've actually been talking.
Yeah, that counts.
Nurse
I don't
dude
see us on Rumble live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, well, sad news. Sad news about that one.
Yeah.
Well, actually, so hold on. Let me go back.
No, don't come.
Yes, Zachary Fett, I do.
We haven't had a live post since episode 161.
Weird. Because if we click on the Rumble icon in the broadcasting, it says "You are live."
Yeah,
I have to message those fools.
Looked at that.
Well, if I go on Rumble, we can see.
I believe you.
We can see all.
Now everybody in wizarding.
Yeah, 160.
You want Joe to drink?
I know, dude. I mean, that's my 4th drink. I'll be honest with you,
Zach. So Zach's second. I don't like the Echelon. I haven't used it. Joe said so much good stuff about it. I actually put it on my list of ones either we ask them for or we buy it. They were like, yeah, we'll definitely talk to you guys. I think they figure out who we are and definitely have not talked to us. So I'm just going to buy it. He had so much good things to say about it.
No, I told him.
We're good for real.
I went in and told him I was tired of their crap.
Yeah, he did.
And I did, dude.
I'm one of your number one.
And
fans.
I straight up told them to their face, like, I am your biggest fan that nobody will talk to. And if we can't get somebody to talk to us, then I am not going to give you free advertisement and keep mentioning your name on our show. Like, I'm not asking for free stuff, but you damn well better respond and at least say no, right? Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jason, I mean, you were standing there.
And you know what they did?
And
straight ghosted me. They're gonna get psionics treatment. Like, if I can get a hold of a psionics, I will make Hop's review look like it was glowing.
Someone had one that said they would sell it to us.
Oh, if you guys have a psionics, I'll probably, if Hopkins gets his fixed, I'll probably buy that one off him. But if somebody has a psionics, the new one, you let me know.
Do I?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not allowed to show gun, but they are on display. I have one there. I have one over here that's my everyday carry. I have another one that's my everyday carry. I still love the gun. I just will not mention their name.
Hey, did you
Paul
see?
Sturgill.
I was about to say.
Speaking of poop, I missed a call from the VA gastrointestinal department today. The Shadow Man.
Super chat.
That's some prick of money.
Shadow Man says, "Here's some money. Finish the drink, Joe."
I am.
$5 super chat.
Goodness.
Another YouTuber, Psionics is better than Gen 3s.
You better play Helldivers with us. We are gonna have a long conversation, and we're gonna help you out.
I bought some.
Who
I
is
bought
that?
some duels
Sturgeon, what is this new tax bracket that you speak of?
because they keep paying us money.
Yeah, they keep
They
paying
said
us.
we're gonna move up to the
Yeah,
next
move
tax
up next
bracket.
tax bracket.
So
Joe's
we
like,
won't be at the lowest tax bracket.
Joe's
We'll be
like,
at
I don't even pay.
I
Okay,
wish.
thanks.
I wish, dude. Like, no joke.
Nurse Dude said, FYI, at work, they are saying all VA consult appointments are lagging by months now.
Oh,
I'm very disappointed with my VA doctor. I probably shouldn't be. Yeah, it should just be the norm. But I ended up having to go to urgent care, and I have this like really wicked cough, and I was like, yeah, the VA prescribed me this. And the doctor at the urgent care is like, I've been a doctor for 27 years. I've never prescribed that for cough medicine. It's the worst. And I was like, oh. He's like, you want this stuff? It's really good. They did a freaking knocked it clean.
well, so they told me I had like some sort of rash, and they're like, hey, they gave me some steroid cream, and I'm like, okay,
You
cool.
got AIDS?
Yeah, this is something. It was something going on. And
Yeah,
they
it was
gave me-
probably poison ivy, you idiot.
I don't know what it was, but it was like a topical steroid. I go back and see them, and they're like, I saw you refilled this prescription. Like, yeah, they gave me 6 things of this, and I used it for a while, and I figured I'd refill it. There's 6 prescriptions. Like that stuff is strong enough to kill you. Don't use that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, we don't know why someone would give you that. And I was like, okay, well, it cleaned up my arms really nice. So
Yeah, well, they gave me 6 refills. So
yeah, they're
I'm
like,
gonna.
how often were you using that? Like, oh, twice a day. And like their eyes opened up. They're like, oh no. I was like, that's what I'm supposed to do. And they're like, no, don't do
I
that.
can now taste colors.
Yeah.
What, dude? Sturgis, it's a joke, bro. Is he talking to me specifically?
No.
I don't know.
Donating money, it's a joke.
Boom,
bro.
new tax
we
bracket. Donate
know.
money. It's a joke, bro.
Sturgis, we know.
Being
You're
sarcastic with the super
with
chat
us.
sent me
We know.
mailer a week ago.
We know you're on our side.
Yeah.
I knew it was a joke. I just didn't get it. I'm dumb. Stop calling me dumb, Sturgis. God,
You're
VA
welcome.
rubbing in
uses
my
magic 8-ball
face.
for scripts.
What else did they do? Yeah, one of them, they told me, they're like, hey, during your ultrasound, we found this. You could die from it. Like, should I change my diet or something? And they're like messaging me back like, that sounds like a good idea. Like, okay.
Okay, I guess I'm treating myself. Doc Cypher, I am now radioactive. Thanks, VA.
Yay.
It makes me think there's an episode of The Simpsons where Mr. Burns is told that he has like all of these diseases, but they're like counteracting each other. And I remember the doctor is like, basically like all these diseases are trying to go through the door at one time and they all get wedged in the door. And Mr. Burns is like, so what you're saying is I'm immortal or I'm invincible. He's said something like that. And they're like, no, that's not exactly it. And he cuts him off. It's like, I'm immortal. And he like walks out of the doctor's office.
I don't, not it at all. Hey, okay, what happened to this list of 2A news? We tangented into
totally
VA.
tangented.
That was, dude. I talked
there
about
was.
it for like 15 minutes solid, bro. I had good notes. I went through all of them. How everyone's selling firearm, rule, not the law. Yeah, I went through all of them.
Okay, good. All right, we'll do Croaks.
Robert First says, I hate to go in another direction, but Jason, I got something you've been wanting.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Is it?
That's not going in another direction if you're going to be all like,
yeah, you mean all
secretive about what you have.
Yeah. The comments are like 20 minutes behind
all
each
cryptic.
other.
Like,
yeah.
Dude,
I got something you
review
want.
of prescribed drugs is a big pitfall. It's the pharmacist's job to double check if the order is appropriate.
Dude, they just mail those to me. Like, there's
the VA just mails stuff to me.
So the doctor writes a script, and they say like, "Hey, it'll be mailed to you," and it shows up in my mailbox. And then 6 weeks later, I go see a different doctor, and they're like, "Dude, where'd you get that? Like, you mailed it to me." Like, yeah, don't use that. You could die. Like,
There's a pharmacist that had to mail it out, but I
let me.
get what they're saying.
But then they go, "Let me mail you a different one." Like, okay,
Joke's on you. VA
Should I
mails
get
me.
us?
like, is this appropriate? I don't know. Who cares?
The thing that bugs me, I went in because I put in a claim for tinnitus, and so I went. They like the VA sent me to this audiologist. I think that's what they're called, right? And he was doing some test where they like test. I'm probably going to use the wrong wording, but like test the pressure of your ear canals.
Mm.
And he wasn't able to like establish pressure, and I think it was my right side. And he was like, "Oh, that's not normal." And I go, "What does that mean?" He was like, "I can't speak on that because like you're here on behalf of the VA, so my report needs to go to the VA. But you should probably make an appointment with an audiologist to be seen."
Yeah. Yep.
Like, oh, okay.
They are, because they're paid by the VA. It's the VA information, not yours.
I still remember when I went to an
It's
audiologist,
such crap.
and they're like testing my ear, and I'm like, I can't hear anything, and I'm like she's having to say the words, and I can't recite them, and she has like the bone conduction thing where it sounds super crazy, but I can hear so well. I was like, I can hear everything. Like, this is amazing. And it comes back like no hearing loss noted. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, I had an amazing one. Actually, she was a prior military Air Force doc, and now she worked for that company. And I explained what was going on. I'm like, my wife gets so mad at me because I can hear a rabbit outside rustling in the rocks, and she's standing 2 feet from me, and I'm like, what? Huh? What are you saying?
Because she talks.
And she gets so
in a
mad.
decibel that I can't hear.
yeah,
Bingo. So she gave me
Yep.
this lady gave me a different test where they say words and you have to repeat the word
Yep.
back
Oh,
in all different tone and level and volume and
Yeah,
stuff.
I
They
can
say
hear
3 words and you have to repeat the middle word back. And I'd be like, elephant, maybe? I don't
Joe,
really know.
I didn't write this
I'm
down.
guessing.
I didn't
I didn't write this down. Sorry, I didn't bring my notebook with me.
Yeah,
Robert, first
can't
blood,
help you.
My handy
90.
dandy notebook.
What's this?
I am
What is
jealous.
this?
PS90. It's an FN. It shoots a
Oh, yeah,
5.7.
oh, I know a P90. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What does he mean by with an interesting case?
I don't know.
It's a guitar, like in Desperado.
That would be cool.
He said,
Yeah.
Crook says, SBR that FN and get the proper 5.7 barrel for it if CMMG is still making them.
If not, we'll make a phone call for you.
Oh, it comes in a guitar case with 4 mags, he says.
I called it, dude.
Dude, you know who would make that? If we made that phone call, who would make that 5.7 barrel for it? Criterion would make it.
Yeah, probably.
I'd call Mike right now and be like, hey, we need to make something happen.
Paul Sturgill. I used to CPAP. Then I lost 25 pounds. The last sleep study, no events. Good for
There
you,
you go.
bud. That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
I see Pap. That's the best thing ever.
Doc Cypher made a comment that the pharmacist still reviews it before they mail it. Meanwhile, other things that they're supposed to do that are supposed to happen at the VA. Yeah, I'm sure somebody does. We just make jokes out of it. I'm sure somebody does review it, but whoever apparently it wasn't supposed to have that and not multiple doses of. I can order more if you want.
They sent me like lidocaine.
You probably weren't supposed to eat it.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Right.
They sent me lidocaine patches, and I told my doctor it had been a while, and I was like, I really like those lidocaine patches. She was like, okay, I'll send you more. A box showed up, and inside the box there was like 7 smaller boxes of lidocaine patches. Each one has 50 patches in it, like the big ones too, like cover your whole small back. And then it says don't use more than like 1 every 24 hours.
You got them all over you.
I feel fantastic.
But yeah, the VA put me on fish oil, and I got
my eyelash. Put one right here.
This is cool. So Croak, I've been following what Croak's been doing. He says I find myself something of a bullpup enjoyer now. I forgot who it was. Was it Foxtrot Mike? Someone made a bullpup kit, and he built out a bullpup. It looks really nice.
Yeah, Joe. Sorry, what was your comment about
YouTuber?
No, now I'm disgusted with bullpup talk.
Oh.
But with the VA, dude, they put me on like fish oil or whatever. Ooh. I got my first dose in the mail, and then I got a letter saying, the world's low on fish oil, so you won't be getting any more of these.
Like, did we
my doc was like, hey, how are you not taking the fish oil we prescribed you? I'm like, I'm not getting fish oil. And they're like, 1 second. And she like messaged somebody, and she's like, oh, apparently we are out of fish oil. I'm like,
there's a worldwide shortage, so I can't get fish oil anymore. So
hey,
I'm like, well, oh well.
So, yeah, another YouTuber says, he goes, just shot a suppressed Desert Tech, pretty rad. Me and Cody always want to try them out. The biggest thing that we just talking, like I talked a little bit with Hop and Brass Facts about this, the ones they did. Apparently, there's not actual new and old revisions, but there's new and old revisions. So if you buy it, and let's say, hey, we updated it in 2024 to this, that, and the other, and you buy one, well, you could get one 2 revisions ago and not get the new one. You could get something else because there's no difference in the model numbers. They just manufacture them differently. So even Brass Facts was like, there's no rhyme or reason to what you get. So you can just purchase something and you just hope and pray. So you could get total mess or order again and get something better or not, or get something worse. So yeah.
So it's like the civilian marksmanship program.
I don't even know.
Oh yeah. I gotta buy one of my. They sell like the old 1911s and M1s and stuff. I gotta buy a gun from them.
I want to hear if Croak wants to see, like, those bullpup lovers. Maybe we should see one of these days from IWI, one of the X95s. I think we should try one of these days.
I want one.
Dude, I will say back on the 5.7 thing is a 5.7 suppressed was probably my favorite suppressed pistol I've ever shot.
Oh, that's cool. I got to get a suppressor for mine.
Hey. Dude, it's fun. It's fun. It's like 22 fun, but it's smoking out of there instead of like a 22.
Paul Sturgill
in trouble.
Getting some side eye from the wife. Catch you dudes later.
Yeah,
we're
running out of time.
Hey, busted.
Sorry, Mrs. Sturgis.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go around the room. Before we close out, we'll go down. We'll go like that. Down and Joe Walsh, Joe, Cody, and then me.
Yep. Real quick, we got a video coming out for the IWI where I did some upgrades on it to finally finish everything up to do the accuracy testing. We're going to go out on Saturday and test the accuracy versus the criterion. So see how the actual accuracy actually is on that. See if it's worth a damn. And then we tested out the ELF Apex trigger. They said it was a no-fail trigger at SHOT Show, and I put that to the test with some super garbage ammo. So we'll see how that goes.
Cool. Jose,
I still need to put stickers on a gun. It's on my to-do list.
I got a rattle can my gun.
I already did a video on that.
Yeah. Okay, see you, buddy. Kodiak. Did you get your motorcycle yet?
Yeah, I rode it.
Yeah, he got it. Oh, you finally rode it?
I rode it Tuesday. Yep.
Nice.
First time
the first day
in 3
nice.
weeks.
And then
I saw 2 of them on the way.
Today we had 45-mile-an-hour winds, so that was
Dude, you're driving a motorcycle at 90 miles an hour. It's going to be 90 mile an hour winds even with no wind.
Wait a minute.
I do not go above the speed limit.
6.
I saw that. Maybe there was more. We got to go. I got to go figure that out. We got places to be.
All right, guys. So this is Thin Line Defense. This is our Thursday night live chat. Another YouTuber. We'll answer that question next Thursday.
Yeah,
right. Hey,
find out who you are. I'll tell
another YouTuber tomorrow night. 9 Central, hell diving time, and same time on Saturday. There's no excuses. You're gonna be there. We're gonna figure out who your ass is. All right.
9 Central. Like you're gonna be on at that time.
I'll be on.